Views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff or management of the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas podcast.
Well, hello there, and welcome to this week's edition of the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas podcast. I'm John Engleman. Thanks for being here. This week, we are at one of the most popular breweries in our area, Rendezvous Junction Brewing Company in Rogers, where we're talking with founder and owner Mike Peerson and head brewer and COO Kenny Warden. But before we get to them, Food News. We kick off Food News with breaking news today. If you follow Ozark Charcuterie and Wine Bar on Instagram, you've seen owner Mallory Files drop some clues. Well, she breaks the news here.
Huge news! I'm so excited. Can I just come out and say it?
Please do.
Okay, I'm opening a new spot called Ozark Charcuterie Cheese and Wine Shop in downtown Rogers.
Pretty exciting, right? And here's what it'll be.
It's a lot smaller. It's about 650 square feet. And so we got to be really strategic with our space and our usage. And so I have basically cut out the bar aspect of it. It's still going to have like a little sip space, but think really nice wines that are still approachable and affordable. Think really yummy gourmet cheeses in the same space of like making cheese approachable, because sometimes you get a little scared around the cheeses. And then some of my favorite like kitchen things are going to be in there. Some of my favorite books are going to be in there. Just a space of my favorites.
It'll also be bodega-like, as you'll be able to grab and go prepared foods. She also aims to have it open by next March or April. Speaking of wine shops, the Cellar on B Street opened in Bentonville on Saturday. It's a boutique wine and specialty foods shop. Their wine focus will be on sustainable small producers, and they'll have artisan foods like imported olive oils and pastas. They'll be open Thursday and Friday from 5 to 8 and Saturday from 9 to noon. Top Chef NWA happened this weekend at the Walmart Amp, and it was another one for the books. Folks tried the dishes from the four chefs, as well as past dishes, desserts, cocktails, and bid on silent auctions, all benefiting the Rogers Public Library Foundation. Chef Bill Martfeld from Lasang Pinoy took home the People's Choice Award for his chicken roulade that highlighted the three regions of the Philippines. And the overall winner?
Chef Ronnie with the fair food!
Chef Ronnie Mathis from the Arkansas Food Innovation Center at Market Center of the Ozarks was the first ever back-to-back winner. And she made an amazing fall carnival food dish, highlighted by the black apple-coated pork. In typical Chef Ronnie fashion, she deflected credit.
So I'm going to bring my team up, because without them, it wouldn't have happened.
Get up here, team!
They take my crazy ideas and work with me sometimes 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night R&Ding things that just didn't work, and they stuck it out with me through the past 2 months, creating crazy fair food.
It's been a long road for Sugar Llamas. If you're not familiar, it's a dessert and coffee cafe serving dine-in and take-out donuts, sausage rolls, ice cream, coffee, fraps, and craft drinks. They just moved from a spot in Springdale that became hidden into a new spot in downtown Rogers behind Lasang Pinoy, and they opened last weekend. It's been a process, says owner Amber Conkler.
It was a struggle in Springdale. I think it was our location. We're really excited about this location in Rogers. We are actually part of downtown Rogers, so that's kind of exciting too. Everyone around here has been super welcoming of us, and we're just excited to get going. It's taken so long.
A few anniversaries to celebrate, as El Rey Bar and Grill in Lowell turned 2 over the weekend. I had some dynamite pork belly tacos there not too long ago. And turning 3 over the weekend was Pleasant Counter in Springdale. They celebrated by serving breakfast. That went insanely well. Co-owner Jocelyn does some amazing things with sourdough. You should try their fried pies. Lordy. This one's going to sell out. Bistro 16 in downtown Springdale is having one of their famous wine dinners. This time it's with Krupp Brothers Winery, and among other things, you'll be able to sip their collectible red blend called The Doctor. It'll also be an art show as they showcase the work of local artist Kenya Christian, and there will be live jazz. Go to Bistro 16's Facebook or Instagram and follow directions to win a pair of tickets. Might just go ahead and buy some to be safe, and I will see you there. The rumor was out there for the past couple of weeks, but we learned last week that the iconic Herman's Ribhouse in Fayetteville is indeed for sale. Owners Nick and Carrie Wright announced this on Facebook, and they said that the decision that they made, they did not take lightly, and they're hopeful to find a new owner to carry on the Herman's legacy. Nick Wright told the Fayetteville Flyer that difficulty hiring and keeping a staff contributed to the decision. Chef Corn Ellis has been named the executive chef of Sistina, which is the wood-fired steakhouse set to open later this year in the Compton in the Bentonville Square. She was previously the executive chef at the Wicked Butcher in Fort Worth, Texas, where they became the top food and beverage spot among the more than 150 Marriott Autograph Collection hotels. Hey, would you look at this new outdoor rental space at Sassafras Springs Vineyards in Springdale? It's called the Cellars at Sassafras. It's behind the decks at the tasting room and near the production facility. There's an outdoor fireplace and plenty of places to sit. You can check it out on their Instagram page. Dumont Creamery is now open on A Street in Bentonville, next to the Skylight Cinema. It's ice cream, coffee, and desserts. They have gluten-free and dairy-free options. If you stop by between now and the 30th in a Halloween costume, you'll get 20% off. They have a buy one, get one free on Friday and Saturday to celebrate their grand opening. Finally, it looks like Wright's Barbecue in Johnson is rounding third and close to being home. If you're watching, you're able to see the new smokehouse and the expanded dining room. Praises. Their final inspection date is set for November 13th and 14th. Mike Peerson didn't start Rendezvous Junction at their current location. In fact, it started at the old Foster's Pint and Plate in Rogers. Of course, Foster's closed, and that left them without a home and without folks to drink their beer. So who bought it during that time? Well, we've interviewed him on here before, so it won't be a surprise to many of you. In fact, Mike ended up taking one of his employees, and he's now the head brewer and COO of the company, Ken Warden, who will be talking to us as well. Mike and Ken will tell us how they got into beer and the successes and failures along the way. And Mike talks about dying. Yes, he's officially died and been brought back. Some great stories in this one. Thanks for being here with us right here on the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas.
Teachers are dynamic leaders shaping a new generation. Innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Welcome back. We are at Rendezvous Junction here, and we are joined by these two gentlemen, Mike Peerson, President, CEO, founder. Am I leaving anything out?
No, that covers it.
Okay, Ken Warden, head brewer, COO. Am I leaving anything out?
I think that's
we
it.
confirmed this via text the other day.
Yeah,
I just wanted to be sure. Gents, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Awesome. It is a Monday. That's why it's not jamming here, because I've been here when it's jamming, and it's a lot. It is jumping. Mike, I want to start with you, because beer as a hobby is common. Beer as a hobby into a brewery when you have a successful career, not so common.
Yeah.
Tell me about that jumping point.
Where to start?
I know.
I think, it's been like 32 years ago. We moved to Seattle. I was working for Walmart.
Okay.
I'm a retired pharmacist today, but then I was getting promoted right after being a pharmacist into leading a market of pharmacies for Walmart out in the Seattle, Washington, Pacific Northwest area. And I got introduced to craft beer out there before it was really a thing.
You did?
Yeah, in a good way. Fell in love with it. And we were out there a couple of years before we moved here to Arkansas. And there wasn't any when I got here.
Yeah.
I was having to have it shipped to me from Seattle. And so after that, I started tinkering around in the garage, making my own brews. But the chemistry and the pharmacy background, the microbiology,
Sure, yeah.
all that kind of comes natural to me and interesting.
I would think that would kind of corroborate.
Yep, it does. And the craft itself and just the beer is reminiscent of those first tastes in Seattle.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. What were your breweries up there?
Deschutes River Brewing was my go-to.
Yeah.
And they had the Black Butte Porter and Mirror Pond Pale Ale. Those were like, every weekend, every evening kind of beers for me. But Vidmere was up there. There were a lot of just getting started breweries that some made it, some didn't. Rogue was there. They were south, but certainly within reach.
What was? Tell me about that first visit to a craft beer tasting room for you there.
Yeah, it was a novelty. I was just enamored by. Wait a minute, this
because it wasn't Coors, it wasn't Miller, it wasn't Bud, it wasn't all the
No, it was like regular folks all hanging out.
Yeah.
Great conversation, and the smell of the mash and all of that just was it was quite distracting and yet intriguing.
Sure.
And that you turn this into something I'm enjoying right here. And it was a kind of a giddy experience for a first timer.
Sure.
What was your favorite domestic, like before you started drinking craft beer?
This is a great question.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I had a quote favorite. I did drink a lot of Coors Light back then.
Did they sponsor the Dallas Cowboys or the Dallas Cowboys? Because that's what my dad drinks to this day.
That's Miller Lite, actually. That's Miller Lite. Yeah. I saw it yesterday.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I got introduced on those Baby Millers. That's how I got introduced to beer, and didn't really enjoy them then. But as I matured, taste buds changed, and
Sure.
And Deschutes River's got it going. That's a brewery that will always be at number one for me. They just they had me from.
They had you. Hello.
As soon as I walked in the door.
Yeah. So I don't know what beer you were raised on, but mine was banquet beer, yellow can Coors. My dad discovered that in college. He had a fraternity brother. My dad went to SMU in Dallas. He had a fraternity brother from Denver who would bootleg to Dallas. And just every time he went home, he'd just fill his trunk all the way to the top of Coors, and they'd have Coors parties.
That
was a big
Yellow
thing.
Jackets, what they call them these days.
Yeah.
That's what my dad drank.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I was raised on. What about...
it was Coors Light as well.
Coors Light? Okay.
My dad, my granddad, all my great uncles all drank Coors Light.
Okay. All right. Well, it was in the family, right?
Yeah, silver bullets.
Okay. Every now and again, when you have one, you're like, what was I thinking?
I still like them.
Do you?
Yeah.
Occasionally, I'll do if I'm at a restaurant and they've got like 2 or 3 things on tap, I'll still get, because Miller Lite was, I guess, college age and beyond before I got into craft beer. And occasionally I'll do that, and I'll be like, okay, all right, okay, not awful, but
it's beer.
It's beer. That's exactly right. It's beer. So speaking of growing up, from Ozark, my favorite mascot, the Ozark Hillbilly.
Yeah, it was a weird place to grow up.
Well, I think it would be a great place to grow up.
It was.
Man.
It was
Yeah.
great. It's beautiful. It's nestled right there in between the Arkansas River and the bottom of the Boston Mountains, and we've got the Mulberry River. You can float right there.
Perfect.
But there wasn't a lot to do in Ozark at the time. My mom grew up in Altus, so you had the wine country out there, the Posts and the Whitakers, and I was introduced to making alcohol, being wine, when I was really young. My dad, he works in education. He started the viticulture and enology program at Arkansas Tech. So I met sommeliers when I was before I could drink, 15, 16. So I've always been a little bit plugged into this space. But yeah, Ozark was a great town. A lot of cool people. Not a lot going on down there. So
I get it.
Food's a little better. Beer's a little better at this part of the world.
I get it.
I'm an hour and a half away from home, so my mom and my dad, all my family live down there.
It's a good distance.
Yeah, it's a perfect little bubble, little kind of buffer zone.
Hop down for Sunday dinner if need be.
Absolutely.
Perfection.
You can't knock the fishing and hunting and barefoot wading in the creeks.
There's so much to do.
That's
doing
plenty
that.
to do.
Yeah. I mean, we would you'd drive around at night on the back roads and hang out with your buddies. You know, there's something to be said for that too.
Oh yeah.
The creek behind the house that I grew up in Dallas was concrete and, mixed with crackheads and snakes. So you didn't really you wanted to watch out for the needles if you were barefoot.
Where was this?
Dallas.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
South Dallas sounds
No,
like.
not South Dallas. No, I didn't quite make it down there too often in the day. But anyway, so you went to the U of A, correct?
Yeah. So kind of wanted to land up here. I visited Northwest Arkansas a bunch of times when I was a kid because really this was one of the only places you could go to get a good burger, go watch the Arkansas game.
Yeah, you probably born and raised a hog, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
The last national championship we won was in my birth year.
Okay.
Heartbreak hogs are a real thing for me.
Yeah, you've not had all the positive experiences some have.
Still a fan. No national team.
Understood.
Got a lot of red at home, so
of course,
it'd be really hard to make a change.
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand. Well, good. Now, your major when you were at U of A?
Yeah, so I started out pre-med, and I loved the science part of it. Like, I did it all the way through organic,
Here comes the correlation here.
Yeah. And
I said correlation twice. Yeah. This is great.
Good. Nice.
I'm sorry. Continue, please.
I did advanced calculus. I did all the hard stuff, and then I got into my third year, and I started doing internships in hospitals, and I hated it.
Oh.
It was the bureaucracy. It was the lack of availability to care for people who need it.
Yeah.
And so I ended up my third year. I started getting interested in breweries because I was already working at. I started out at Core. Worked at Saddlebach for a little while.
Okay.
Even worked at JJ's when they were a brewery, even though I was bouncing at the time.
Sure.
But I left college knowing that I ended up wanting to be in beer and own my own brewery. I actually graduated with a psychology degree. But my final thesis...
I think that kind of fits the industry a little bit, right?
Not bad, my final thesis was creativity in business.
Okay.
So, because we had a big focus on creativity in my final year.
Nice.
But that's when I moved up to Northwest Arkansas. My roommate got a job at Bank & Rogers. I was looking for work. I was fresh out of school. I was like, okay, well, maybe I can find something corporate and make a little money and eventually go start my own brewery, and I can keep home brewing. And that's where I met Mike when I was working over at Uptown with Seth.
Okay, and was it back in the Growler days, or was it Uptown?
It was Growler USA back then.
Okay,
yeah.
Growler USA.
And I had tried lots of craft beer, but I had never tried that much craft beer because they've got like 104 taps over there.
Oh, yeah.
And at that time, there was a lot of out-of-state breweries moving into Arkansas. A lot of these guys have backed out now because we are a small market and there's a lot of competition now.
You bet.
But we were getting things from off-the-wall places that you can't get here anymore, and so I got to try a lot of cool craft beer.
He still does. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He still does. So, by the way, one of his favorite taps there, besides was it Bell? Is that the one?
He likes the Two-Hearted, right?
Yeah, the Two-Hearted.
Yeah.
The water. He's like, it's filtered 4 times. He loves that water tap. He was telling me about it.
We're fans of our water tap as well. So the same
water
that comes through our filter is the same water that we use in the beer.
Okay.
And we have a water tap here that you serve that get to drink the beer. So the base of every beer, you're getting to taste that too.
Love it. Excellent. So what got you into home brewing?
So really, we were talking about liking science and chemistry and all that fun stuff. It was working in a brewery. Before I was 21, I didn't really have much experience with like craft beer, obviously. But when I started working at Core, I started hanging around the scene.
Okay.
And really, for me, what brought me to craft beer wasn't necessarily the beer as much as it was the people. And to Mike's point, being around nice folks who like to have a conversation. Beer is almost a universal thing.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to sit around and have a beer. Well, I say everybody. A lot of people like to sit around and have beers.
Sure.
They're usually pretty nice people.
Of course.
And so I fell in love with the scene and all of the people in it, and I was like, I think I might want to do this.
It's a good scene.
And so I bought a really nice homebrew kit, and I started making beer, and it was horrible for a long time.
That's how you learn, right?
Exactly. And then I started actually getting pretty good at it, and that's right around the time that we met, and he was mentoring me, and we were talking beer science, and he taught me. I mean, he definitely the baseline of my beer knowledge comes from Mike.
So when you were at Core, did you ever work with Jeff Rowe Brown?
Yes, I know Jeff Rowe he's at the Odd Soul now. Yeah. He was actually in here the other day. I love that guy.
He's great.
He's a heck of a personality, man.
He's great, man. Yeah, we did an episode with him. It was a longer one. as you might imagine.
Yeah.
But Jeffro is the best.
He really
Enjoy
is.
him.
He's cool. And I like Boston down there,
Yeah,
too.
oh yeah. Boston's great. Absolutely.
They've got good bartenders at that spot.
For sure. So how did you two guys hook up?
I mean, I think we could pretty much just say it was because of Growler at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you going in there?
I was making the beer up at what used to be Foster's Pint and Plate
Sure.
next door.
Okay.
And we were just, it was more of a proof of concept. Could I do it? Low capital entry, making the beer and selling it by wholesale. And Seth bought everything I made. So
That's great.
So that was a regular stop for me, just to drop off beer and take back some empty kegs and sit and have lunch and shoot the bull with Ken.
You bet.
So it's kind of how it was. Is we were just chatting one day. In fact, I think I was having lunch there, and we were just talking beer, and he was telling me, "Yeah, I'm starting to take a crack at home brewing," and so we were swapping stories a bit. And I said, "Well, why don't you come out the house and do a homebrew batch with me?" And next thing you know, I'm doing some with him, and we're just kind of just homebrew buddies.
What was the name of that first batch? What did you guys name it?
Was it one that you had already brewed?
Well, the one that I did, was How Do You Do Pale Ale.
Okay.
But the one that you were doing was a stout. You were working
so I did it was just a basic 6% American stout. It came out really nice.
Okay.
We're thinking about making it again, actually.
Yeah,
it's been
really
several years since we've had it.
Yeah. Okay. No name for it or anything like that?
Well, it eventually was named All Aboard.
Okay.
But I don't know if I had a name for it at that time.
Yeah. No.
It was like, this is a stout.
That is the Please Work Stout.
Exactly.
That's great. Well, good. Okay, so we progress. Who's saying, we should start a place? How does this work?
Well, I had already started.
Okay.
And so it was whether or not I'd just
scale
up. Made it a continued. I was still working at Walmart corporate in healthcare, and I was doing the beer thing nights and weekends, and it was entertaining the idea. Beer was getting more popular, and it was continuing to get nudged by folks to, you need to keep doing this. And after getting to know Ken a bit, I really liked him. And so it was more about, you want to take a crack at brewing a commercial batch with me? And he said, yeah. And, he's a quick study. He knows way more than I know about the process now, but back then it was just really fun to have, somebody that I could pour what I learned into, mistakes I made, and,
Boy, how great is that? You get to skip some mistakes thanks to him, right?
That was awesome because I made a lot of them home brewing, and then commercially it was a lot easier to get started.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. So good times.
Good. Well, you leave the growler setup, and you guys decide to build this out. Tell me about that process.
Well, it was Foster's was closing, and so they were losing the tap room there. So pretty much Growler USA become my tap room. They bought everything, and during that process, I was looking. We were actually really close to a deal in downtown Rogers on the tracks.
Oh, wow.
And didn't work out. City decided they wanted to use that property more than they thought I needed it. So
that'll happen.
They took advantage of that.
Woof.
So I was set back a bit, a little frustrated.
Yeah.
And Alex Blass, a landlord of this property here, come knocking. And he said, hey, I hear you're looking for a place, and I'd really like to have a place in the back of my building down here. I mean, it's walking distance from where I was at.
Yeah.
And so he kind of laid out his plans on what he was wanting and hoping for. And I said, I just don't think that, there's this perspective that you can put a craft brewery just about anywhere, and you can't.
No.
It's not for retail. You got a big production space, and that square footage is expensive. And so, the question was whether or not we could make it pencil. And so spent a lot of time with Alex just trying to draw it out and what it needed to look like. And, meanwhile, I was at that point, I was retiring from Walmart. I had started another gig. I was co-founder of a company called Relations Research in Atlanta. And I was entertaining this, what's the big move? And the doors just kept opening for the brewery. And COVID hit. There was a number of things that were going on during that time, and so but the brewery just it was just like the good Lord was leading me this way.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how it happened. I wouldn't say that it was real intentional or strategic. It all just kind of started to fall in place.
Yeah. How about it? How about it?
Yeah.
The Foster's Pint and Plate restaurant setup was a lot smaller. It was 4 or 5 barrel tanks and then a 5-barrel brew house. And we were making 6 beers at that time? Maybe 8?
8. Yeah, we had about 8. Well, yeah, we eventually got to 13, but we were about, I think at that time, about 8 beers.
Okay.
And so when they shut that down, there wasn't a lot of places for the beer to go except for Uptown. We didn't have a robust distribution.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike was the only employee. Before we, I was brewing commercially, but I wasn't. I don't even know if we were just having fun or you hired me as contract worker at that point.
Ended up being contract work. He wasn't an employee at the time, so I was paying him, just as,
sweaty fistfuls of cash.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, my son-in-law Levi and I really got the commercial brewery going.
Okay.
Initially, he was helping me nights and weekends and that sort of thing, but he's raising my grandbabies and taking care of my daughter and trying to put food on the table, and that wasn't going to do it.
Right.
So Levi was instrumental in, being a colleague that would talk me off the ledge in the middle of all that. But
which is helpful.
Yeah. Yeah,
very helpful.
And but Ken was a huge asset when he come on.
Nice, very nice, awesome. Well, you finally get the doors open here. What was that like? Because as you were talking about the space, Foster's, all their space was the dining room. That thing was a monster.
Yeah.
But now you get to make your own space here and tasting room and kind of adjacent if you're in here and looking and if you know the place. You've drawn it out. It's built out. I'm assuming there were no huge hurdles before getting it open. I know you were talking about COVID. I don't know how that lined up.
Yeah, actually, it was on kind of towards the middle, the back end of COVID. Okay. I guess probably the huge hurdle was I had a UTV accident and had some health issues from that.
No. Okay.
I had broken my back and
gosh.
I flew was metaflighted to Washington Regional, and they were going to fix my back, and in the process of doing that, I threw a pulmonary embolism and died. Coded. And so I was fighting back from just recovering from some severe health issues. In fact, I was drawing up the blueprints for this place in the hospital bed.
Still full design phase on this, yeah.
So that was
holy crap,
probably the biggest setback, and I'm sure at that point Kim was going, what have I gotten into here? Because I remember calling him once and said, hey, he wasn't expecting the call because he had gotten word of, that Mike had a severe accident.
Yeah.
Said, hey, dude, I just died. And he said, let me pull over. He pulled over the side of the road, and we shed a few tears.
Gosh.
It was rough.
It was.
But, he put some trust in me that we were still going to see this through, and we figured it out. But it was rough going there for a bit.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. But aside from, the construction and, you always, I could write a book on what not to do when building a brewery.
Sure.
And Ken's right alongside me there.
Well, you guys, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's our first rodeo, so it was, it was a learning experience all the way through.
Yeah.
And I knew nothing about plumbing. And thankfully, he was a quick study on it because I'm
Learned
not so
a lot
much.
About plumbing.
But
it's a lot of Ken being quick study in this podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a quick study. Ken is a quick study.
No. Yeah. Amazing. Well, eventually, you guys get the door open. What kind of reception was that?
It was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, we had
talk about tear shed.
Yeah, it was funny. On grand opening day, we opened at 11, and from 11 to 12, I think we had maybe 2 or 3 customers walk in the door.
Oof.
And I was like panicking. Full on panic.
What have I done?
What has happened? And then it didn't take long before the line went out the door, down the sidewalk, down the parking lot, and we just got slammed.
Oh, so, the full range of emotions in a matter of 2-3 hours.
Oh, yeah. And then we worked our tails off trying to catch up.
There you go.
But it was a lot of fun. Great reception.
Awesome.
Late start that morning, but
we were all a little bit nervous that morning.
Yeah.
The day before, or maybe 2 days before, we did the Friends and Family Night, and there was probably about 50 people from Ozark that came to that.
Oh, wow.
It was a whole, I would say half of them probably haven't been back yet, but they were out in force to support me on the opening day, and I thought that was really neat.
I love the beer community here.
Yeah.
It's so great. It's so great. Well, before we jump to break, I want to hear about Taste Buds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
So the origin of Taste Buds was...
it's for those who don't know, it's a membership.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. The program today is a Rendezvous Junction membership, club membership, and you buy into it, pay annually for it, and you get benefits, discounts, 15% off everything in the building. And but it's really designed after the original Taste Buds when I was a home brewer.
Okay.
And so I was brewing a lot of beer at home in my garage. And when I say a lot, like 4 batches a week lot.
Oh, gosh.
And I couldn't possibly consume it all. And so I was sharing, I was sharing it with friends and family. And, word of mouth was spreading, and I had to start holding official events.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be unusual for me to hold an event on a weekend where I'd have 130 people at the house.
God dang.
And they were sampling free beer. I'd have 18 beers on tap, and it was free, and you just had to fill out a form. And so I had everything in a form. You had to rate the beer, write comments on it, and I'd had a stack of forms at the end of the day.
Unbelievable.
That I would go back and just kind of hone and refine on, based on, because I was making beer that I liked. And not everybody likes what I like, and so it was, so that became the Taste Buds.
Yeah.
It was the people that weren't afraid to really tell you what they thought about the beer.
It's great.
And so I could get honest feedback that I could use to hone and refine, and it just kind of evolved. They're kind of our board of directors, if you will. They advise us on next brews, help us with beer naming. They're, part of the family.
Judges at our events.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah.
But our tagline here is crafting beer that brings taste and buds together. And so it's a nice, punny way to explain what our membership program is. But
it's great.
What I love about the Taste Buds here, and it's a fairly recent, what are we, 175 for the year?
Yeah.
Is that it? We dropped that, though. I think it's 150 now.
150 now. It was 175.
And you get
cost.
You get a bunch of different benefits with it. But what I love about it is we don't really push it too heavily.
Sure.
And the people who sign up for it, they happen very organically. So, you come here 3 or 4 times over the course of a couple weeks, we might start asking you, hey, did you know that we have this membership program?
Sure.
And so the people that sign up are the people that hang out here.
Yeah.
And so we have 65-ish members, and they're all just really active parts of the brewery. And so we've built this community
very cool
over time of members because everybody likes hanging out here together.
Yeah.
It's not really a revenue motivator for us.
Understood.
It's really a family, and where we can, if we need some feedback on, do we want to be dog friendly, or do we, what do we need to do with the umbrellas on the patio, whatever. We huddle up with that group, and they will flat out give it to us straight what they think.
Great.
So it's awesome.
It's pretty valuable.
Users of the product, they're going to tell you what they think about it.
That's it. And I lied. I said one more thing before we go to break, but I've got to ask where Rendezvous Junction name came from.
There's a bit to that. So, if you go back to Roger's origin story, and I'm playing off of it just a bit, but there were a group of settlers in what is now the downtown Rogers area, but before it was a town or a city. And that group had this idea that they wanted to do something together, and so they decided they were going to start an apple orchard. And so they ordered a trainload of apples and all rendezvoused at a junction, eagerly waiting on this trainload of apples to arrive.
There it is.
So
love it.
That's the origin of it.
Arkansas black apples by chance?
Maybe. Good question.
No, I just throw it out there.
From what I understand, black apples are mostly cider apples, right? So Arkansas Black, I don't think you can actually. I don't think you're supposed to actually eat them. So depending on what they were doing with them, maybe.
Well, I
good
do.
Question.
Yeah, I do know that back in the day, and I learned this from Leo over at Black Apple. So back in the day, it was a table apple that you could have, and it would last. It would keep for a long time because it's very robust. Probably not the best tasting one, but people still did it back in the day.
Right.
So anyway. I'm probably wrong, so don't look it up. When we come back, let's talk beer. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, we got that. We got the Mike Engleman Home Pro Tip of the Week, and that's next right here on the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas.
Let me show you something.
Connect with us at Flavors of Northwest Arkansas on Facebook and Instagram, or by email at flavorsofnwa@gmail.com.
Well, it is time for the Mike Engleman Home Pro Tip of the Week. And for that, we go to Ken. Ken, what do you have?
Yeah, so it's going to be specific to if you're a home brewer, but one thing that I've learned over the years of making beer now is break the rules.
Oh.
Go in with a really solid set of how you're going to clean, how you're going to take care of your equipment. Make sure that your habits and your baseline is all there, but beyond that, don't let anybody tell you that you can't put X, Y, or Z in a beer.
Broccoli beer.
Do it. Try it out. Go for it. I mean, there's some things you want to avoid. You want to make sure that you're not going to infect the beer. You're going to make sure that everything that you put in there is going to meld well together. But break the rules, make mistakes. Use extra malt if you like it than what is in the recommended dosage. Add real fruit, sour, wherever you want. Like, have a good time with it. And then what we found here in making beer is that when we kind of push the boundaries of stuff that baseline for homebrewers is a lot of like Charlie Papazian's The Joy of Homebrewing.
Okay.
And that book was written in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of new stuff you can do. So if you're gonna homebrew, feel free to make a mess and come up with something that nobody's done before.
Until your wife sees it. We'll be right back.
Your story doesn't have to end. As an organ donor, the good in you can live on. In fact, you can save up to 8 lives through organ donation. Sign up to give the gift of life after you're gone. You'll be happy you did. Just maybe, someone else will too. Sign up online today as an organ, eye, and tissue donor at organdonor.gov. It saves lives.
Only 64% of Arkansas residents are organ donors. That's 16th best in the U.S. We can do better. If you're not registered, or you haven't registered, or your parents haven't registered, or your wife hasn't registered, here's what you do. You go to organdonor.gov. It takes 5 minutes to sign up. I've been through the Arkansas one. I've been through the Texas one. I have not been through any of the other states, but I'm sure it's very much the same. It's literally 5 minutes to sign up. And once you're signed up, you are good to go. Don't take them with you on your unfortunate demise. People can use your organs. You can also get signed up through the health app on the iPhone, or you can do it old school the way I originally did, and that's at the Department of Finance when you're renewing your license, or if you're outside the state at the DMV, which is what I did back in the day. It's real easy. Just please do it. Again, don't take those organs with you when you go. Thanks so much. And we're back. We're at Rendezvous. We're with Mike. We're with Ken, and we're talking beer now. We are getting into the beer. I want to kick it off with the kind of brewing system you guys have here. Obviously, it's a scale up from home brewing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a 10-barrel craft kettle system.
Nice.
It's made in New Orleans, Louisiana. We've got 4 10-barrel fermenters, 4 5-barrel fermenters, which we use for split batches. So say we want to brew one beer and do 2 different flavors on that one beer. We can do that fairly easily out of one batch. And we also have 4 1-barrel fermenters that we pilot from. So we have a Alpha Ruby 1-barrel all-steel pilot batch system. Same 3 setup, mash or hot liquor tank mash tun kettle. And so we can do a lot. We can pretty much make whatever we want and pilot without having to spend the full amount for cost of goods on a 10-barrel batch.
Back in the day, did you guys ever watch 60 Minutes and see Mike Wallace always nodding his head, thinking he has no idea what they're talking about? That's what I was just doing. I have no idea what you were just talking about outside of the 10-barrel system.
Right. Yeah. So one barrel is it's 31 gallons.
Okay.
A keg is 15 and a half gallons for a big keg.
Okay.
And then a smaller keg, so like a 6-barrel, is 5.16 gallons.
Okay.
A fermenter is where the beer is fermented.
Sure.
So you brew out of your hot side, which is your HLT holds hot water.
Okay.
Your mash tun is where you combine the water and malts to create brewer's wort. You boil it in the kettle, and then you send that wort to the fermenter where you add yeast and finish the beer.
So running through my mind right now is just about every episode of Moonshiners. Because I'm taking from there kind of that idea.
Yeah, they've got a few extra pieces of equipment in there, and we've got a few things that they wouldn't have.
Equipment.
Yeah, sure.
Great show, by the way. Great show. So how many beers do you guys normally keep on tap?
We keep 23 on.
Gosh.
That was something that we set out to do from the onset. Was we wanted to have an offering that covered any taste bud that walked in the door.
Yeah.
From the lights to the darks, the hoppies, the tarts and the sours and the IPAs, you name it. We want to have that offering for anybody. And now it's another thing to make that happen and make that a reality. I think we struggled in the early going. We might have had 18, I think, early on, and just kind of inched our way up to 23. But the whole idea is that we want to always be creating something new.
Sure.
So we're always inventing. We're always experimenting. To Ken's earlier point, we're just trying to create the new thing. And sometimes we get it right.
Sure.
Sometimes we don't. But
We've put a couple down the drain, but not a whole bunch.
Is that not how you grow?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to stub your toes, right? Just don't break them. Yeah. So what is, and we didn't talk about this beforehand, but what is the one beer that was a complete wild card when it was finally done, you're like, oh, that, yes, absolutely.
The fortunateness of it. Yeah. Tell that story.
So when we first opened here, we actually didn't have the equipment that you see behind us. So we opened up at this location and we brewed for, 6-8 months straight, as fast as we could push beer at the Foster's Pint and Plate location, because we knew that we were going to open and we had to make sure we had enough beer to open.
Okay.
And so we finally get our big system installed. And we were really struggling with a beer, scaling it, which is Just Jammin'. And Just Jammin' is still to this day one of our best-selling beers. It's been around longer than I have at Rendezvous Junction.
Okay.
And we make it all the time, and it's usually always on tap unless something has gone terribly wrong.
Right.
And so for a while, we couldn't get Just Jammin' on because we kept making it, and it would come out too dry or it would come out too bitter, and it was just not hitting right. And so finally, there was one day that we had made adjustments to the recipe on the 10-barrel batch, and we just thought we had it. Like it was in the bag. And so it's in one tank, and to the right of that tank is a double IPA that we called Lollygagger. And it takes a really big dry hop dose.
Okay.
So one day, I'm in the back working, and I climb up on the ladder, I drain the pressure off the tank, and I dry hopped the wrong tank. And so I poured a full IPA's dose worth of dry hops into a cream ale. And also at the same time,
he didn't know it. He didn't know he had done it.
No. At the same time, we pushed back our schedule on the Just Jammin' for another however many weeks until we get that right. But Mike's downstairs. I'm kind of just talking to him about what I'm making.
Yeah.
And I was like,
time out. I got to jump in here.
Yeah.
So he wants me to taste. He wants me to taste the Lollygagger and the Just Jammin'. And so we walk over to the fermenters, and he's pouring them off the sample spout.
Okay.
And I can see his mind just kind of, he's processing as he's pouring. And before he ever even hands me a sample, he takes both hands, they go over his eyes, and he drops to his knees. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, what? What's going on? And he's shaking his head while he's down on his knees like this. And you might have to bleep this, but he says, I just dry hopped the shit out of Just Jammin'. And by
the way, I won't have to bleep that. You're fine.
And I said, you didn't. He goes, nodding his head yes.
Before we even tasted it, I was looking at the tanks like, no.
Oh, the panic.
Yeah, it was. It was bad.
Oh, the
I went
panic.
home and threw up. Like, it was that bad.
He did. And we had postponed the launch of Just Jammin' here, and the regulars were coming in asking for Just Jammin', and we didn't have it.
Oh, no.
And so it was a big deal.
Yeah.
I went to lunch, and I'm like, my mind's just kind of processing, what are we going to do? We're going to dump a third batch now of Just Jammin' down the drain. And I'm like, the hops he introduced, it was kind of fruity. What kind of fruit goes well with cream and cream ale?
Yeah.
And I'm like, peaches. Well, what if we hit this with peaches? And so Ken and I, we put our heads together and tackled it with some peaches and made a peaches and cream ale that we call now Fortunate Mishap.
Who came up with the name? Hans.
I did.
There you go.
I did. But it turned out to be.
What a beautiful mistake.
It was.
We've made it, I think, 4 or 5 times on purpose now.
Okay,
yeah.
That's great. That's good. That's great.
But it taught me a lesson. I mean, Ken obviously learned a lot through that process. Yeah. I learned a lot in the sense that, because as a pharmacist, you don't mess with the recipe.
Sure.
Okay? You keep things consistent over and over and over.
He was losing his mind.
And I was freaking out with this.
How much investment was into that batch previous to the peaches?
I mean, cost of goods, it was a fully made beer. It just hadn't received the vanilla yet.
Okay, but it took up some of the pretty good volume of your
an entire fermenter, yes. And it also threw us back on the schedule a little bit. But, I mean, it came out really nice. And we still make it. It's seasonal now. We used to have it on all the time. We used to run split batches with Just Jammin' and It. But so we still make it to this day.
Great.
Yeah.
Tell me about that first taste once it was done.
I don't know. I mean, I think I was pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised, but we didn't know if our minds were like just wanting to make something out of this.
Very valid. Call the taste buds.
Yeah. And that's what we did.
That's great.
And people were like, man, I think this is the best beer you guys made, which drove me insane because I'm like, you got to be kidding me. A mistake is the best beer we've ever made. But anyway, it's a fun story. Yeah.
So good. Well, we're finally beginning to cool off outside.
Yeah.
What's in the plans for the small batch?
So next week is our Halloween party on the 31st.
Okay.
So Friday night. If you got friends or family that want to come out and enjoy the Halloween party.
So this will come out a week from Wednesday.
Okay, yeah, so it'll be 2 days before the event.
2 days before the event. Okay,
right.
Good. Go ahead.
So
next Wednesday.
Friday, come to the Rendezvous Junction Halloween Extravaganza. There's costume contest. Anyway, we'll be releasing 2 different pumpkin beers. So we have our pumpkin pie jammin', and then we also have a pumpkin porter that we'll be releasing, both small batches, very limited amounts.
Okay.
So we'll see how long it lasts. We may make a little bit more of it if it sells out really quick.
Yeah.
But we also do a staff series, which is one of our favorite things to do.
Okay.
So actually this summer, our best-selling beer over the course of the summer was one of our staff's pilot brews.
No kidding.
And so we've made it like 4 times over the summer. It was a Limelight Summer Shandy.
Okay. Yeah.
But coming out soon.
Oh, I do like a good summer shandy.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Coming out soon, we've got a honey doppelbock. We also have an apple pie cream ale.
Oh, boy.
We've got one of our guys, we haven't developed the recipe yet, but we're working on it. He wants to do a blueberry muffin brown ale.
Ooh.
So lots of fun stuff because, like, you don't run out of ideas, but it's always good to get some fresh, minds and people who have been thinking about it. If I ever made a beer, this is what I would do type stuff.
I've talked to so many people in the restaurant business, and they'll say things like, one of our best-selling dishes is so hard to make that I have to take it off the menu to keep my people happy.
Yeah.
So kind of the same idea. And when they come through with something that just absolutely dominates, like the shandy this summer, it is the biggest win-win ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love it, and they get excited. They get a little competitive about it. I gotta remind them though, like the summer shandy is you can drink a lot of them. It's a well-known style of beer.
Sure.
If you're coming at it with like a honey doppelbock, it's not going to move the same speed
as
a summer shandy is, even if it is a perfectly made beer.
I get it. I get it. So, what is the overall the anchor beer, like the bestseller, the long haul beer? Or is there one?
Well, I'd say long haul would probably be the first beer I ever made, where I created the recipe as a home brewer on my own, aside from a kit.
Okay.
It was my first stab at picking out the grain and the hops and the yeast and writing out my own recipe.
Sure.
And it's also the first beer I ever brewed commercially, which is Shindig. It's a white wheat ale. It's Blue Moon-like in that sense. And it's always been a top 5 for us from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I think more recently, Ken has really crafted or created a skill set around lagers and the process of lagering, and he has really honed in his expertise there. And so our lagers are like top of the line, and I'd say that the Grillin' and Chillin', Check Your Fly, even the Rice and Easy, those 3 probably, are up there in terms of volume. That just people come in and they're, they just, that's what they're looking for is that. I'd say, those are the standbys today that, it's just week in, week out. They're, seasonally right now, the Oktoberfest is, our top beer right now.
Of course,
stuff like that. But I don't know. What's your thoughts?
I'd say, like, if we're talking about numbers alone, it's going to be Grillin' and Chillin', which is our light American lager. But we also, one thing that I love about Rendezvous is you don't have to be a craft beer expert to come in here and drink.
Yeah.
I don't mind somebody coming up to the bar and saying, hey, can I get a Bud Light? Because that's an opportunity for education.
Yeah, man.
And hopefully, if they like a Grillin' and Chillin', they'll be like, oh, maybe I do like craft beer.
Yeah.
Maybe I do want to step out and try something like a Czech Pilsner or even something like a fruited sour.
You bet.
So lager is definitely our top seller here, and that's just because it's a comfortable style. Because you bring your uncle in here who all he drinks is Coors Light or or Yellow Jackets or what have you. He can come in and be like, okay, yeah, I can drink craft beer too.
Yeah, Yellow Jackets. That's new to me.
It's got a 2.5%er right now that's in the making. That's
it's a concept that we're calling Dad Beer, and so it's gonna be a 2.5% lager. We're piloting it, the first batch right now.
Okay.
We'll see how it ends up coming out, but we're trying to hit a really, like, a beer that you can have several of and not feel like you've had too much to drink.
I was going to say 2.5%, so that's for ages 16 and up. Am I getting that right?
Sure. You know, a good lobbyist.
Right, yeah. Kidding. I'm only partially kidding.
It's I really hope it comes out well.
It's great, yeah.
Because we're going to try to hit it at a really low price point, too.
Oh, nice. Very cool, yeah. Well, just let you guys know, I'm like the target customer in that my beers are going to start getting darker now.
There you go.
Gotcha.
I'm a moody beer guy, but it's also with the weather as it is with everybody. So it starts darkening up, as you guys know. Yeah. Tell me about your retail program, because you guys are some places.
A few.
Yeah.
I think we've got now around 25 accounts.
Okay.
It's not retail yet. It's just wholesale for us, but we serve about 25 different restaurants and bars in the area.
Yeah.
Some of our favorites, we've got an IPA on with Oak Steakhouse. We've got a bunch of beers on with the Odd Soul. The Bend in Bella Vista is another good account of ours. We work with a lot of local bars and restaurants. However, moving into liquor stores and otherwise is not something we've really put our toe in the water yet.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with our infrastructure.
Yeah.
So storage.
And vision.
Yeah.
I mean, I part of that holding it back is me. I never really wanted to run a high production packaging brewery.
Sure. Yeah.
I want to hone the craft and enjoy what we do and enjoy it with friends and guests that come in here with us.
Sure.
Never really had this big vision of, being on the Walmart side counters. No knock on Walmart, just not our thing. And,
yeah.
And I'm holding him accountable for sales, but at the same time, I'm also holding him back with, these ideas of how we can generate more revenue through other means.
Sure.
But I'm trying to hold him to let's focus on here, and let's focus on this experience here, and let's make really great beer, and then it'll be more of a pull than a push.
Sure.
And that's the concept. So
I can't help but notice we're sitting next to boxes of cans.
Yes, we do have cans.
Okay.
They are all sold out of the tap room here. So you can take home a 6-pack of beer from Rendezvous Junction. It really depends on what we have available, so the fridge is constantly changing in and out.
Yeah.
But we've got, I think, probably 8 different styles in the fridge right now.
Nice.
I was just talking today, our printer's down. But we're going to have, in the next 2 weeks, 4 more styles into the fridge.
Printers always go down.
Gosh.
That's just the way it is. That's the way it is. Gentlemen, thank you. This has been a great one. I appreciate it very much.
Of course,
how can folks find you guys? Social media, online, etc.
We're at Rendezvous Junction on Facebook and Instagram. We are rendezvousjunction.com online. We're located in Rogers behind the mall on Bellevue Road if you're looking for us.
Perfect. Flavors of Northwest Arkansas you can find on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. How about that? Appreciate your time, guys. Guys, please tip your servers, and we'll see you next week. Make it a great week. Bye-bye.